As time moves forward, the universe grows smaller and smaller. Oceans become lakes and cities a dot on a map. Borders are fences and countries are neighbors. Planets are vacation getaways. After a couple drinks, my father would say, the world has gotten too small, and there's no room left in it for me. As a child, this idea seemed absurd. The world felt too big to even comprehend, filled with the unknown. But now, trapped inside this cargo ship, and watching the stars pass by the portholes, things are starting to feel real small. Man, I hate space.
I've seen some fishy things in my time. Someone bringing their own coffin is up first.
Coffin?
Yes, that's large coffin ship.
Oh, that's the charging station for my, get up here. It's kind of a long story.
Well, brevity is king around here, Tin Man.
Basically, I was in an accident a few years back. Really, gummed up the works inside. Now I need the suit to survive. Well, the suit needs power, and I need the suit. So, hence the coffin.
Thanks for the life story, kid. How about we stop wasting each other's time? I'll haul my sorry self and your belongings to your new for you at least, minus...
Yeah, thanks. Welcome to Space... My life... Salty old... I thought...
Don't...
Presumably some salvage from the lake here. His outfit says sheriff.
You must be Mr. Edward Locke, the new return.
A mechanical engine.
Well, here on 52, we wear a lot of hats. Down to a skeleton crew. So don't go rat.
Don't you bother about me. I'll do my job.
Well, that's good to hear, because I have a job. My friend over there is having some trouble with his equipment. Why don't you... Actually, I have a bigger job for you. But finish...
Your friend, my favorite.
Actually...
Your... His outfit says sheriff. Portables. Hey, heard you... Yeah, I can, relate. My toolbox should be... Presumably... I thought...
Don't...
Trusty... Now, let's see what... Yeah. No.
Good news. It's nice to have a repairman around with the last one up and disappearing on us. Now I'll have a moisture recycler with your...
Well, aren't I the lucky repairman? I can't imagine why the last guy would leave such a welcoming place.
I like you. It's gonna take a boat ride, and I don't do water.
Well, I don't fancy myself much of a...
Yeah, I'll bet you sink like a stone with that gob. I'll fetch the old Inca clank of the dockmaster.
I watched the dockmaster and his boat disappear into the fog haunting the lake. He said he'd be back in an hour. Somehow I doubt it. The artificial... A small boat landing minus the boat. Beautiful blue water. Just below the surface you could witness all manner... The smell of the fresh water... atmosphere. Famous for their terraforming and artificial life. The space station was one of the first to... The smell of the fresh water. The solar... So fresh and so clean. I don't know what's in this thing, but unfortunately the barrel's just too heavy to move by myself. It looks like the moisture recycler the sheriff was talking about. I'll have to utilize the... Some forgotten bones of a... Some spare parts are ditched here, rusted and cracking from being exposed to the weather. Probably not functional. An old excavator bot. It's been sitting... An old excavator bot. I could tie this into something. An old excavator bot. It's been... Battery looks like... I gotta power up the... Let's see how this... Some of the cells are damaged, but... The battery only has enough charge to power up one module at a time. Well, let's... Yeah, I think I could. Look at that. Took some... see what... They installed an anti-tampering device. Unfortunately, I don't have the key to unlock it. If I remember correctly, I can bypass it by turning the dials so the squares and triangles are opposite each other on all four sides of all four dials. The top left dial appears to already be in the correct position. Cold. The first thing I felt when consciousness pierced the darkness. Waking up in a morgue has to be one of the more surreal moments in my life. Felt like some undead monster in a horror movie, back from the grave.
Hey, look at it. Rise and shine. Sheriff said you need to see the doc immediately when you wake up. He doesn't want any more bodies to pile up today.
I have a lot of questions.
And it breaks my sweet little heart that I can't answer them. So go, see the doc, and then find someone who cares. Would you do that for me? The door's behind you.
What's with you? Oh, my head. Great, now I'm seeing things. Maybe I should see the doc.
Please step onto the scanner to begin your examination.
I guess he's not much for bedside manner, huh?
Engaging bedside manner protocol. Did you hear the news? A group of prisoners hijacked a prison bus and crashed it into a cement truck. The police said to be on the lookout for hardened criminals. Ha ha.
Wow, that just happened.
Scanner failure. No living organic material was detected.
Suit must be interfering with the scanner again. An earthquake on a space station? That seems a bit odd to see. The quake must have broken the dock. And who knows what. I should check on the dock before I leave. Oh, doesn't look too bad. Just a couple blown fuses. I'll need to find some replacements. The first aid kit is... laser bone. Deputy? I don't think... Looks like a little rodent is living... Looks like a little... Maybe the worst place I have ever... Various beakers and vials. That must be the... Morgue lockers of various shapes and sizes to support all the different species that would frequent the space station. Jar with... The label reads caution, dangerous acid. Now, what could go wrong carrying this around? This may just be the... Well, I have no interest in climbing up. Doc is still...
Glad to see you woke up. It saves us the time of digging two graves. Just kidding. We eject bodies into the vast cold emptiness of space.
Heartwarming. Your deputy wasn't very forthcoming. What exactly happened?
Seems you discovered the body of Oakley Baxter and then fainted. The doc must have found you both just lying there. Actually, Oakley was the man you were sent to replace.
How did he die?
Looks like a simple accident. Oakley has been dead for days. So no worries. You're off.
Accident? So he fell into the machine, died, and then sealed himself inside.
Look, new guy. Things are done a certain way around here. Didn't I say not to rattle bones?
It just makes no sense.
We're not going to discuss this further. You'll need a clean bill of health signed off by the doc if you want to leave.
Looks like the quake.
We'll fix it. Isn't...
Well, that brings up another problem. Did you feel that earthquake? Isn't that a bit unusual?
Just the stations.
Settling? The same space station that's been around for...
You'll learn how things work around here, new guy.
I see my tools are behind you. Should have a couple spare fuses.
Sorry, have to hold on to those. Part of it.
I thought it was an accident.
Rattling bones? I'll suppose. See?
An accident? Who is he kidding? He's not gonna look into this murder. The lunchbox has something rattling around inside of it. I should take a closer look. Also appears I ripped the cushion fabric. This... Well, that's done it. But the bone saw's out of juice. A single rubber glove. His outfit says a big bag of medical waste. And some resident evildoer has left their biohazard containers here. The plaque under the sculpture reads DNA by Mona Moonbeam. I simply don't understand modern art. I'm not familiar with the show she's watching, but she's certainly enamored with it. An old sweet sop PC. You don't see the smile anymore. There's only one name on the sign-in sheet. Charlie G. McLehany. It's dated nearly 2 months ago. Just a standard electrical. The label reads Somnunium.
Yeah. Oui, François.
She... Hopefully she won't... I should get... Still want to... All Alright, I need to match the colors of the wheels on the right to the fuse boxes on the left. Fuse looks blown. I should replace. And that's the last. Back up and running. I am having the weird. It's been pillaged of most of its supplies, but a couple of. Vents are. Let's hope I don't. Looks like the sleeping gas was just too much for this little guy. He's cold but not frozen. Really gonna need to clean this jacket. Out like a light. That must be. My dad dragged me to more than a few crime scenes when I was a kid. It's making this whole thing oddly familiar. According to the medical examiner's report, this is Oakley Baxter, mechanical engineer. I was sent to replace this guy. I guess he didn't just disappear as they thought. The report states he died from blunt force trauma and brain hemorrhaging. It says the key was inserted into his head wound once rendered unconscious, and causing further brain damage. His other wounds were all caused post-mortem, likely by the machine he was shoved into. No fingerprints or DNA were found at the scene. I should see what else I can find. Ticket book. Technically, enforcing violations isn't part of the job, but he seems to have taken it on himself to keep things in check. Only one page left in the book. The key that was placed into his wound. You never see keys like this anymore. Must be decades. Oakley's head wound. He was hit hard and precise enough to crack open the skull. The bruising looks pretty precise, like they were able to open the skull in only a couple shots. Ah.
Organic material detected, no heartbeat registered, dangerously low temperature identified, initiating emergency thermal. Initiating emergency shock resuscitation procedure. Error, insufficient power, battery damaged, new battery ordered, arriving in 2 to 3 weeks.
At least I can get rid of my frozen friend now.
And I tried to get a reservation at the library, but they were all booked up. Ha ha.
I have all thought.
Organic material detected, heartbeat detected, the subject is within acceptable physical parameters, your health status has been updated, you may return back to work, have a good day, and please take your doctor's note.
And that actually worked. I don't believe that man has ever been to medical school.
If the doc says you're good to go.
The rain fell right on cue as I stepped out of the doctor's office. A few minutes later, lost, I wandered into some forgotten alley. Just as I was ready to give up and turn back, a figure appeared in the fog. Like an apparition calling to me, I followed it into the mist. As the haze cleared, I found myself standing in front of the old local museum. Propelled forward, I stepped through the doors. I followed the dark and enticing figure to the local museum. Its neglect over the preceding years hadn't tarnished its prevailing beauty. I fretted the gentle rapping of the rain on the roof was deriving a false sense of security. Perhaps it was my sense of duty or an innate stubbornness, but I had no inclination of turning back. The plaque reads, "Here stands the Garaffa, the largest predator indigenous to the Macron asteroid belt. The Garaffa spends the majority of its time hunting and eating other indigenous creatures such as Signy and Bombani. The Grapha is best known for its intense yet unusual roar. That roar is... They made a horror picture a while back where a Grapha ended up tearing its way through a rather unlucky crew aboard a star hauler. Although, most folks just remember the end with the foxy dame and her, unmentionable. Those are called stanchions, and that's your useless... And the skylight lights up the Muriel with a brilliant glimmer. Why is that? And they hate this. Seems they were amidst the 100th anniversary last time this museum was open. One could speculate they just gave up on packing this place midway. It's a shame, really, leaving all this to be forgotten. The plaque reads, encased in this exhibit is Lucky, the first fish ever caught on Space Station 52. I'd postulate the name Lucky. The anti-grav device still seems to have some life left in it, but I don't see any way of retrieving it. I might be able to disrupt the gravity field with an electromagnet. For that display case, the information key seems...
How am I? Oh! You startled me. Do you make a habit of lurking on ladies in the dark?
You make it a habit of lurking alone in the dark in abandoned buildings. Besides, aren't you the dame that was outside giving me the runaround?
Are you deriving the notion that I don't merit a chase?
And just because you're easy on the eyes doesn't mean you're worth the trouble.
If you keep staring, stranger, I may start charging you. I'm the reporter of the 52 Gazette.
The reporter? As in the one reporter?
What? You deem there isn't much newsworthy around here?
Couldn't really say. Just got here myself. I'm Ed.
Edward Locke. I'm aware.
How did you...
I'm the reporter. It's my business to know.
I'm investigating the murder of my predecessor, Oakley
Baxter. Yes, that would make the two of us. But I believe I'm uncovering something much bigger than that.
Bigger than murder?
Pittances, kitten. Pittances. Perhaps we could accommodate each other. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
What are you getting at, doll?
Well, I need to get at the information on this map display. But the console needs power first. If you can get me up and running, then I'll let you know, well, what I know.
Sounds like a square deal.
So, you'll need to gain access to the electrical closet behind me. Then route power through the junction boxes to the map display console.
Consider it done.
There's very little I don't consider. It's my
job. Yeah, I get it.
Well, So, you'll need to get
console for the map display. Looks like a video game on an old silver disc developed here on the space station. The title reads 24 Hours with an Octopus. It's a silver disc for an old game. The title reads Maximum Acceleration. The display reads the original Killer Man mask used in the filming of Screech. Screech was filmed entirely on Space Station 52 and marks the first time 52 is used as the backdrop for a major motion picture. I remember that one, best known for a twist ending and an unusual use of a doggy door. The plaque reads, Captain Willoughby Frankel is 52's most famous and revered fisherman. Captain Frankel has been the inspiration behind a multitude of characters and books, including the best-selling Shadow of a Day Gone. Expensive-looking vase. Normally I wouldn't condone pocketing a museum piece, but desperate times, I suppose. Look at this old thing. My father had one just like it. Maybe I can just ignore that no touching please sign and take a little gander inside. Someone must have been stashing their spare access card in here. Unfortunately, the card is downright filthy. That'll even scan in this state. It's a planter full of water from the leak overhead. An old broken up aquarium. Looky there, a battery inside the tank. Still have some juice, but I don't think I can. It's a jack. The caption reads, Lynx jellyfish. These shocking creatures were the first genetically engineered species born on the... Will it loose the battery from... Bingo. Now that's the plaque reads, Captain... The display reads, Anchor and Rope from True Desire, the first ship to leave 52's docks. The plaque reads, Sculpture by... The caption reads, Photo of Carl Brashear, with his diving suit, the Pioneer Mark I. The caption reads, Photo of 52's pier during its grand opening. Interesting. The pier looks... A more poetic man might say that plant isn't... It's a no-go. An incredible fossil. Unfortunately, the plaque has been graffitied over. My mother would turn over in her... Whoa, not keen on that idea. Gonna have to put it... If my memory serves me, that creature is a Cygni. They are indigenous to this asteroid belt and not... Plaque reads, Here sits a construction bot and fabricating materials. Another bad... Box cutter. The clock was... feels unfit to be doing. Sorry about... Looks like that took the piss out of him. Literally. Shouldn't need this speaker anymore. Now I really need a shower. But that did the trick, took the grime right off. Tell from the fossil. Tell from the photo of a large vessel, and the water damage has eroded the caption away. Unlocked. Hey, an old-fashioned BLS chip. I can integrate it with my helmet. This can assist me in operating the old... It's a shelf including a few rods and some spare copper and a deep blackness. It's a... I have to route each sequence one at a time and in numerical order to get the power back up. The energy is insufficient to operate this whole place. But if I route the power, it should be enough for the map console. Pretty sure I saw 3 junction boxes in the previous rooms. They should be marked with red lights. The renewed light caused the nail to glint in the umbra. Maybe that idea. You, how the devil am I gonna get up there? Console for... plaque reads, in case I'd postulate the anti-grav device still seems to have some life left in it. But I might be able to disrupt the gravity field with an electromagnet. For that, I'd require the anti-grav. I might be able to disrupt the gravity field with an electromagnet. For that, I'd require steel, copper wire, and a power source of some kind. Sorry about that. Clock wasn't plaque read console for the map display.
Well, I need to get at the information on this map, so you'll need to gain
The plaque yeah. It's a planter full of water from the leak. Makeshift. I rifle through the box for a time and find a battery, and everything else looks... The collision cracked the base just enough to get the anti-grav device free. A miracle didn't break the thing in the first place. I think well, that worked surprising. I watched the light on the anti-gravity generator flicker its last. Turns out dropping a 300-pound exhibit on a piece of technology isn't great for it.
Well, I need to get at the so
Console for the map display. Let's power it.
Okay, enter these coordinates for me. Just as I thought. These localized earthquakes aren't random.
What do you mean?
Someone is targeting specific systems with the quakes.
Looks like someone is taking out failsafe systems. But why? Not exactly a high priority.
Like I said, Ed, there is much more going on around here than just murder.
What was that?
Sounds like it came from the electrical closet.
Let me check it out. Well, this wasn't open. Ed, don't jump down the scary dark hole just to see what's down there. Ah. cold air cut through my clothes like I was as bare as a newborn. The oppressive darkness begged me to turn back, especially with the killer likely haunting the blackness. But I felt propelled forward, like I'd been magnetized. I'm sure I've had better ideas. Father once said, sometimes you have to brave the darkness to find the light. He's a rotten son of a gun, but sometimes he gives good advice. Whoever the drain jumper was that escaped down here had no problem navigating the dark. This system hasn't been up and running in a long while. It's difficult to describe. I certainly hope they're actually useful. I hate to think I'm ruining my jacket for nothing. The device appears to deliver a concussive sonic blast. The machinations of a madman, it seems, but this could actually work. And I sincerely hope whoever devised this weapon is long gone. The cooking pot adorns the marks of an object decades old. Should still do the job, though. The MCPs, man. What's the bug? Wait. I was able to do some. I think I need to say what does. Mother. Marvelously. Master.
Welcome, user.
The air emitting from the pipe is quite cold. Master.
Welcome, user.
There is very little air. A cold breeze rushed out of the vent. These accumulators gather info about the status of the shaft. I doubt it will be of any use to me. There are shafts similar to these all over the station. They help regulate airflow, oxygen, temperature, among other things. Looks like some little creature made itself a home up there. Whoever came through here before me sealed the door shut. They certainly... here's a great idea. Let's use a death ray made by a madman that was slapped together with spare parts. I'm sure this will end really well. Well, the door's gone. And so is the device, either held up to the blast. That death ray thing sure did a number on that door. That's the access point for this end. I'll need to deduct where the missing shuttle went if I want to stay on the pursuit. Just your standard mug, simple and efficient. It's the docking bay for the maintenance shuttle. Always hated these things, like a fly. I'll need to fix the crack and sleuth out where the last Well, raz my berries. These shuttles pass through areas of zero and I gotta discover a means to see. I recall reading about a process of making primitive glue. You can boil elements of an animal, like the bones and hide. If I can get the display working, I can mark where the last shuttle. I need to match the sign on the wall to one of the 3 on the floor. Then I should be able to stop the power from chirping at me. Master Control Program.
Welcome, user.
I'll need to change the temperature. Well, the creature that made the nest is still here, but I imagine much less lively. Just some old bones and a tail left behind. Master.
Welcome, you.
There is very. I'll need to. Master.
Welcome.
There is very. I'll need to. Master.
Well.
Master.
Welcome.
Last destination, 0385J. With electricity, that death... I'm sure that... The rain was falling like needles, chilling my blood. But I'm hot on the trail of a killer, and it's warming me up. My father always said the truth is a moving target. I never knew what he meant by that, but I'm beginning to understand. What kind of fool throws away a good pair of pliers? Apex Noir, darn good coffee. Once upon a time, no need to go. Gonna have to sort out that steam before I can move forward. I don't see any valves anywhere. Looks like the ventilation controller. Looks... It's a ventilation unit. Well, this thing has more kinks than my ex, but it could actually still be worth having. The Drowning Sailor. Sounds quaint. An old broken tube. Brings me back to those old... More than once I've found myself in trouble with a BB gun in hand. Oh, must have hit my head harder than I thought. Keep it together, you. Hey, an old T-17 cleaner bot. It's in pretty good shape considering it's older than my grandfather. These always were as tough as a $2 steak. There's a battery here, but it's dead. Missing some gizmos. Looks to be a sort of handle. Could be useful. Fancy item. Cover came off with a satisfying ping as it fell, like a shell casing hitting the ground in one of those old detective movies my father loves. The newly bare inner workings reveal a bypass. If I can find a metal bar the correct size, I should be able to short out the ventilation unit. The steam hissed in disdain as its life faded. My path clear, I took no small amount of joy watching the steam breathe its last. Those characters look so familiar. I think it's from an old video game. I can't believe I remember that. I can't believe anyone would. Some heavy sail canvas. Yeah, it doesn't yeah, some sort of it's a coin of. Take a gander at that. An old buccaneer sword. It's out of reach though. Some old cargo nets. It looks like it's just decorations. Now, you don't have to be a flatfoot to figure out these quakes are getting worse. The rumble appears to have jammed up the elevator. Gonna have to reset it or I'm dead in the water. I'd be annoyed if it wasn't technically my job. The rumble must have shook the sword. This brings me back to those old swashbuckling films I'd watch with my brother. Old popcorn, greasy seats, good times. Took some work with that somewhat dull sword, but eventually the canvas gave away, revealing a panel beneath it. The panel's bolts appear ragged and stripped from repeated use. With the right tool, the bolts could likely be pulled free. You're a couple well, look at that, a scan droid. Wait, did it say negative reinforcement? This is one strange place. All that aside, the scan droid should help me find the nodes hidden in this room. Then I can reset that elevator. Also, someone left behind a note. An aperture on top of the device cracked open. So long, you odd little scan droid. I need to find the proper object to place inside the aperture. Sword locked in place within the aperture, and bingo, elevator reset. You absolutely aren't going to find any of that as standard procedure in my technician's handbook. Those are Lynx jellies. They pack a huge electrical punch. Those are Lynx. That's a Nelumbo, I believe. Apparently they are a delicacy. I've never been able to afford one myself. Somebody left behind a matchbook. Only a single. Look, a Cyresis. I remember studying these in grade school. If I remember rightly, despite looking like a tough shell, they're actually quite soft. And that always stuck with me for some reason. More rat boat. Another coin.
Oh, you need to have some room. You will have to go to a hero. Yes, the Bible for Chicago. Oh, many numbers of Bibles. Now you do a call. You got you will have. You must have a sticky better. Oh, sticky better. Now we will have some better. Oh, you want to make some hurry.
What's with the shucked fellow in the corner? I'm beginning to recollect you lot have a real... Nice chatting with you. I'll see what I can do about that bottle. That guy puts the sus in suspect. Some various bottles and glasses. Looking pretty bare these days. I bet at some point this was a hoppin' joint. Now there isn't a dame or jive bomber in sight. Tiamat. That was my father's brand. Or is my... Yeah, he's not gonna be any help. The flyer reads, Rat Boat. Seeking new ultra-rad bass player to help take music. Well, they certainly have no short... A notice for a series of code violations against the drowning sailor. This list is extensive and exact. A front page of the local paper, the 52 Gazette. Headline reads, The Drowning Sailor, center of 50... Guess the barkeep has no quarrel with the headline. It looks to be an old psychedelic art show flyer, premiering the work of a local artist named Mona Moonbeam. Moonbeam, huh? Looks like it was a real... I could see some use for that. I could see some... Required... This whole station has sprung a leak. The warmth of the fire bathed me in the cold. A nice reprieve. Now with the camera in hand, I can clearly see it's broken. The lens is still in good shape. Pink strawberry cloud. That's his favorite drink? Well, that's just embarrassing. Look at that, a whole 3% alcohol. How many of these are... Death Rattle Moonshine. Judging from the smell, it's either a drink or wood varnish. I bet this could be a great liquid cleaner substitute for the cleaner bot. What about that? See you around. Here's your, Sure. Mm-hmm. No, I'm good. You know, the more you talk, the worse it gets, right? With pleasure. I could see some use for that mop, but he's got quite the squeeze. I suspect the barkeep wouldn't take warmly to me essentially attacking one of his limbs, even if he does have a few to spare. There's a knock, knock, knock. There's a knock, knock, knock. Unbelievable. That actually worked. Feel my hair stand up when the jellies unleash their full wrath. The flickering lights saturate the tunnel, an intense and harrowing encounter. Strangely, I was overwhelmed by a sense of deja vu. Did the trick though. Battery fully charged. That guy put...
Welcome, stranger. What you buying?
Hey, buddy. Looking for...
Well, everything is for sale around here. Info included.
This your establishment?
Yes, sir. For 30 years, I've been helping the denizens of this space station drown their troubles.
So you probably know an Oakley Baxter.
Oakley? Let me guess. You want to know about his murder?
How did you know it was a murder?
It's my job to know what's going on around.
I thought your job was drowning troubles.
One of many jobs. I have many hands in many jars. As you can see, you seem like you need some info, and maybe I could help you with that. But first, you gotta do me a favor. You sort out my bathroom, and I'll get you the info you want.
Your bathroom? I'm not a plumber.
You look like a sturdy and resourceful sort. Also, this isn't your common plumbing problem. Go see for yourself.
Strange request, but I guess I'm getting used to it. Find a body, solve a murder, clean a bathroom. Sure, why not? Why is it so dark in here? Where's the switch? Oh, that smell. Come on, my only pair of shoes. What am I standing in? Is it just me, or is the bathroom breathing? And I'm out. What in the 4 galaxies was that? What are you trying to pull? You trying to end me?
So you met our little friend. It's a Jagdax. They are these grimy creatures that grow out of filth and feces.
Yeah, my shoes are familiar. What am I supposed to do about it?
Hey, that's your problem, stranger. If you want your info, deal with it.
With no badge to flash, I guess I'm at a loss. I'll need to figure something out. Now you're all better. Jeez, these pockets are surprisingly spacious. No need to go. I prefer my body parts to... All right, buddy, do your work. Yeah, let him have it. I'd call that sorted. The bathroom is incredible. A monumental work of art. A person's life would be truly less complete by never seeing. Oh well, I should go talk to the barkeep. That's a...
What's on?
You heard of...
What?
Let's... See you. That guy puts the... That guy put... The Jagdax has been taken care of. Now time to spill.
All right. Don't let it be said I'm not a man of my word. Yes, me and Baxter have had our, troubles. And yes, he was a real thorn in my side.
So you could say your relationship was tumultuous.
He was always writing me up for citations. Seems he had a real axe to grind, and apparently I was the grinding wheel.
So it would be beneficial for you if he, let's say, up and disappeared.
With our sham of a sheriff? Nah, really a minor inconvenience. Look, you wanna know how I didn't kill him? You found the body.
Right.
But to show you I'm a nice guy, here's a little tip. There's a small island hidden in the fog of Goldwater Lake. You may find some answers there.
And why just grant me this information?
Honestly, I can't really say. Maybe I'm just feeling friendly today.
Guess we'll find out.
One last thing. Careful asking questions. Sometimes the answers, don't want to be found.
A cool fog was rolling in over the lake water. Shafts of light punctured the mist like fingers shoved through a plastic bag. Like everything else here, the sunlight was artificial. A series of gears, wires, and gadgets ran this place. If you listen closely, you can hear their hum. Like some subtle dirge of life it pretends to be. Bogus. The fish are fake. They must have been used like a prop to make the dock seem more active and lively. Most of the props must have been sold off by now. Picking at the bones. Lures like these are used to create that beach breeze everyone loves. Although I have no clue what it's doing here on the sand. Maybe it's a fan of getting a tan. Oh, I've been talking to myself too long. These units have their own power supply. It appears it's missing a fuse. Looks to be more art from this local artist I keep hearing about. What was it again? Mona something. It's a viewfinder. I need coins to operate it. The shutter is stuck closed at the moment. Strange. The windows are blacked out from the inside. All the shelves are bare. I guess he's not bothering to restock.
Well, hello. Mr. Edward Locke, I presume.
Everywhere I go, people seem to know me before I know them.
We rarely get visitors, so you're the talk of the town.
Not sure if that's a good or bad thing.
I hear you've been helping fix things all over the station like a good lad. Maybe you can help out a poor fisherman and fix my display. I so miss it.
If I do, can you answer some questions for me?
Oh yes. I've also heard you've been poking around. But sure, I'll answer your questions. I'll even give you access to my private beach if you...
Sounds like a deal. Looks to be small pins given away for...
Those are mainly for children, but sure, you can have one.
Wow. Containers are full of various baits, judging by the smell. Seems to be the only thing. Just your
Fix the...
The angler here is quite accomplished. All the mounts on the wall are his, and these aren't fakes. The display looks well kept. I could probably get it running again easy. All frames and no pictures. Windows are mostly black. All the shelves are bare. I guess he's not bothering to restock. An old worker bot. I imagine it was you. The bot has a drawer in its chest with a simple looking lock. All the shelves are bare. I guess he... I can't get the breaker. The drawer slid open and I found a pry bar inside. The water is calm and peaceful, with the occasional creature disturbing its tranquility. Bogus. Most of the props must have been sold off by... Lemons. These are quite a delicacy and worth a pretty penny. I remember reading about them. They're indigenous to some distant planet. Can't seem to remember the name of it. Seems odd to just have them sitting here. They won't miss one. I don't know what that thing is, and I don't... Those are devil's teeth. Even though they appear like rocks, they're actually alive and secrete poison. It's quite painful if you get it on your skin. A small craft is wrecked in the water on the rocks. Maybe that's where the motor came from. There's a bottle bot. Unfortunately, it's out of reach, and I'm not going into the water with that creature. That motor could be handy to get to the island. I'll need to use the crane to acquire it. Also, I gotta find a way to cross the water without taking a swim with whatever's in there. It seems upset. It's a fuse that's still in decent shape. Doesn't appear that it's needed for the crane. Surprise. There are many goods in boxes that seem to be clumsily thrown into a pile. This should do it. I hope that plank isn't too important to some vessel around here. I should be able to utilize this to cross that gap on the pier. Looks sturdy enough. It's a sign for the supply yard. I may find the dockmaster there.
If it isn't the old gravekeeper himself.
Hello again. like to ask you some questions about a certain hidden island.
Not so fast, boy. I may answer your questions, but I'll need something from you first.
Sounds about right.
See, the chest here contains something of great importance to me. Retrieve it, and I'll give you your info. Maybe.
What? Why do you need me for that?
The locking mechanism seems jammed with rust. Everything I've tried only seems to make it worse. Besides, I've forgotten the combination of the lock.
Alright, I pop the lock and you give me the info. Sounds like a deal. Looks like the dockmaster has been pilfering the best stuff for himself for quite some time now. A makeshift label has been pasted over the original. Most of these boxes are now being sent to the drowning sailor. The barkeep and the dockmaster must be working together as part of the smuggling ring. A lot of boxes not going where they're supposed to. He's made himself a fort. A salty winch. Always loved these things. No idea why. Strange combo. A rope and some salt. Let's give... Rust gone. Looks like the dockmaster's... Salty old... Rust is... strange. The only thing in the box is a creepy little stuffed toy. I don't remember. The ropes are in place, but the bot is too heavy to... I can access the breaker box now, and the bot lost an arm in the process. Powered up. I should be able to open the hatch now. That's quite the display. I see why I missed it. That's quite...
Thanks for your help. Ask your...
This place is looking pretty bare.
Dear boy, there was no need to restock anymore. You're the only visitor I've had in a long while. Closing up shop soon.
Is this your bait?
Yes. A little gift to myself for retirement.
You seem a bit young to be retired.
I was very fortunate in my previous life, so I retired early.
Did you know Oakley Baxter?
I know of him, but only by reputation. I tend to stick to my shop and fishing. Not much for conversation. In fact, dear boy, I believe I'm done speaking now. Why don't you run along?
Yeah, be seeing ya. I guess. Well, that was mostly pointless. Just your... The water is calm and peaceful. What a wonderful smell I've discovered. It's a bucket full of fish of questionable freshness. Why do I carry around the things I do? The state of this place makes me wonder why they bothered to transfer me here. Although, I'm beginning to believe it's my fate to be here at this time. The boat looks seaworthy, but it's not going anywhere without a motor. Also, I have the small problem of not knowing where I'm going exactly. Nah, just some old junk. I don't know what the... There we are. It shouldn't... There are some coins and... The viewfinder snapped and spit out a photo of some nearby rocks. I guess I got myself a little souvenir. Yeah, I don't require... Here's your... well, I'm not sure what it is exactly.
It's the last thing my mama gave me before she devoured my father and swam back into the sea. I was just a pup myself.
That explains a lot, actually.
Just kidding.
Oh,
It is more like a large lake relief in the sea.
yeah, that makes it better.
Didn't you have some questions about an island?
How long have you been on 52?
Actually, I'm new to these parts, but I feel like I fit right in.
What can you tell me about this mysterious island?
Well, I can tell you very few people even know it exists, and I'm sure the proprietor would like to keep it that way. Just follow the map and you will get there.
Seems like you have quite the operation going on here.
What? Are you going to pick up that mantle now? Word of advice, leave that mantle buried with Oakley.
I'm gonna wager a wild guess that you've had your run-ins with Oakley Baxter.
Of course I have. That man left splinters under the skin of everyone he met.
Did he ever give you any gup about your little treasure trove here?
He certainly tried, but not much you could do about it. Some individuals never know their place, but I guess he found out.
Never mind. See you. Now that the crane's lowered, I need to venture out to the motor to hook it up. I should try to throw the fish to a closer spot. Now I've done it. Fed him up a buffet. Let's speak. Now I have a bucket full of poison fish. What am I doing with my life? I better not. I hope they don't return anytime soon. Well, that's the motor taken care of. Time to try Would you look at that? When traveling to a mysterious island in the heart of a perpetual veil of fog, the last thing I suspected to find was a quaint little house. There's something soothing yet lonely about this place. No man is an island, they say. Sure, if that makes you feel better. Ugh, not again. I'm losing it. Small sculptures are scattered all about. Looks like somebody has been at this for a good while. The waterfall is something worth seeing. Too bad this place is lost on most. The plaque reads, name, Vanilla Cloud, medium, terracotta, year, 3132. Like a maverick bird oddly cruising through the sky. Now I should explore. The plaque reads, name, Rising Sun, medium, stone, year, 3049. Every darkened moonfall preludes a brighter sunrise. The house has seen better days, but still possesses a certain charm. Some of these stones look to be painted. The plaque reads, name, Deep Waters, medium, clay, year, 3056. Still waters run deep. Carl.
Sure. Just come in without knocking.
Sorry about that, miss.
Miss, do I really look that old? I long for the days when I was someone's doll. There are my manners. Just because you've forgotten yours doesn't mean I should forget mine. My name is Mona Moonbeam.
Ah, you're the one whose artwork I've seen all over this space station.
Well, a body of work 400 years old will do that for you.
400 years?
I haven't always looked or sounded like this. I once had a body that would turn heads so fast it could snap necks.
So how do you find yourself sporting this, still figure?
My entire life I've been striving to produce the perfect piece of art. Just one work to be remembered by. I grew older and realized it wasn't going to happen in one lifetime. I spent every cold dime of my fortune to give myself more time. I came here while 52 was being built, and I have been here ever since. One day I will emerge with the perfect piece. One day.
Could I, bend your ear for a bit? I'm investigating the death of Oakley Baxter.
Oakley? Well, I may know a thing or two.
But
But could a strapping young gentleman such as yourself lend a hand to an old gal?
some mutual back-scratching. Again. Sure, what'll it be?
Your arrival has got me inspired to work on something new. But I need your assistance. First things first, how about you get my tune spun up for me? The darn thing stopped working on me the other day. I've never really been technologically inclined, and I need music to set the mood. Once you've gotten that taken care of, come speak to me, and I'll let you know what I mean next.
This is a beautiful window. Your work?
No, that's a Charles King design. He's the genius designer and architect of most of the space station. You probably met his acquaintance on the way here. He's the proprietor of some old bait shop, last I heard.
Interesting. That's a unique flower. Never seen one before.
Actually, Oakley gave it to me. Due to all his snooping, he found out about my secret little island. I wasn't sure if I could trust him with my secret. I believe he gave me the flower as a sort of peace offering. It's apparently known as the army of flower, which also lives for hundreds of years. It was surprisingly thoughtful.
Baxter's surprisingly thoughtful gift. I guess there's still a lot I don't know about Mr. Oakley.
Next, I need you to open my supply closet for me. I accidentally shut it the other day, and it's been so long since I've unlocked it, I've forgotten the combination.
How am I supposed to...
You're a bright boy. I'm sure you can manage it. Toot sweet.
The plaque reads, Name, Gentleman Octopus. Medium, terracotta. Year, 3350. Always a gentleman, but always handsy. Sure, a creepy little doll. What addict is complete without one? Well, this is a creepy find. I wonder why it's the only one covered in a sheet. The plaque on this sculpture is different from the others. It simply reads, Death holds the keys. The plaque reads, Name, bedrock. Medium, stone. Year, 3489. From deep within Johnson's cave.
Now, would you be a minch and gather some supplies for me? And I will answer all your questions. First, I'm feeling nostalgic. How about a base similar to the... Most of them have been sold. Yes, that is Second, I need a tool with more than 2 points and at least one... Yes. Yes, that is exactly what I'm looking for. Third, let's mix the old with the new and use the medium for my most recent sculpture. Can't keep living in the past, can we?
The plaque read. The plaque. The plaque read. The plaque reads. The plaque reads. The plaque reads, name, rising s-
Yes, that is fourth, the color. How about something befitting a gentleman? Sorry. Yes, that should be everything. Ask away.
I've seen your art all over 52.
Well, I was one of the very first to step foot on this station. I guess this station is just as much a part of me as I am it.
Did you know Oakley Baxter?
Oh yes, what a sweet soul he had. And a real lover of the arts.
Do you think this piece could be the one? Your perfect piece?
Can't be sure yet. Eventually, the sculpture will tell me what it wants to be. You can't force it. I'm sorry.
Oh, of course. The only problem is I don't know where to go next.
The reporter looks out of the old lighthouse. Why don't you take your boat over to her? I'm sure she can help.
Well, thank you, miss. Thank you, doll.
Good luck, Edward.
The outboard motor turned its final rotation as I coasted the last few feet to the shore. Bon voyage, I thought to myself as the small craft floated back out into the water, where she was swallowed up into the rolling fog. No worries, though. I knew I could reach the rest of the space station by land from the lighthouse. A nebularian gravewood tree has wrapped itself around the lighthouse. Gravewoods are named as such because they grow almost exclusively in cemeteries on Nebular. What one was doing on this space station clutching to this lighthouse was anyone's guess. The storage. A barrel of Neuroblight. This stuff has been banned for decades. It's a chemical used in printing, but is highly toxic. I'm sure nothing could go wrong with. It's a plaque commemorating the lighthouse and its construction. Judging from this, the building was more of a tourist trap than an actual functioning lighthouse. And the plaque is bolted to the rock. Given the right tool, I could probably loosen it. The lights, the elevator, the first. Given the size of the gravewood tree, it's been here for a long while. The bitter bright fruit is very uncommon. The gravewood tree only produces 1 or 2 at any given time. Problem with bitter bright fruit is it tastes awful. Often referred to jokingly as tasting like death. Dark humor, I suppose, but an apt description. Some animals, on the other hand, will lose their caps over them. The tree has worked its way inside the lighthouse. Still appears structurally sound, though. Why would the reporter dame let things get this out of hand? someone has modified the top of the lighthouse with a high-powered telescope and parabolic audio receiver. Funny thing about it, it seems devised to observe the space station itself, and not the luminaries above. Wind turbines were outdated technology, even when 52 was first built. Some fool must have thought they just looked cool, because they're pretty much useless on a space station. Stacks and stacks of old newspapers. The reporter is apparently speaking more than others are listening. A fire extinguisher with a hose attached. It feels empty though. A handful. Stacks. The elevator door is jammed with a gap at the bottom and won't open all the way. With a strong enough impact, the roots have burst their way out of the wall, slowly taking over the interior. Beautiful in its own way. The toolbox is empty. I'm guessing pilfered by the creature. It's a burglar owl. They're known for scavenging shiny materials and decorating their beards and nests with them. The bitter bright problem dark. That's done it. That childhood baseball camp finally paid off. Let's see if this works. Wow, the owl dove on that dreadful fruit like it was his last meal. If I had something long and flat enough, I could probably pry this open. A screwdriver, how practical. Something fell out of the vent. A rigid instant furniture pill. I've never seen one in real life. I remember those terrible late night commercials for them. Just add water and boom! Instant furniture. Yeah, at least that's what the commercial said. Toolbox. Let's just pretend like the removed bolts are in such bad shape they're essentially useless. door protested with a loud whine, but eventually gave way. The elevator revealed behind My knees nearly caved in as the elevator came to a violent and abrupt halt before reaching the second floor. I managed to pry open the doors and discovered our root problem was much more extensive than I had realized. It's a famous painting of an even more famous musician. Mr. Toro is intergalactically known for his guitar playing and hit song, Labyrinth Hell in the Shape of Pacific Peak. It's a crawler drone. The drone is infamous for its spying abilities. Water is leaking down from the emergency hatch overhead. I can't. The thicket seems to have taken over the. Well, how about that? Worked as the commercials said. Well, there's your problem. I'm gonna need to find a way to clear these roots. I'll have to make. Let's see if I can use this guy to close the vent. I'll program it into the autopilot. Looks like I can manually control the bot to find the vent. The second floor vent is shut now, but I lost a bot in the process. Chemicals are in place, and I need something to connect the barrel to the Atmos system. The hose is connected up, but needs some way to secure it. Only have enough of the chemical for one shot at this. Wouldn't want the hose to come loose. Everything's ready to go, just need to activate the atmosphere controller. But first I have to make sure the elevator shaft vent is the only one open. I doubt I'll have enough chemical left to cover more than just the shaft. The lights, the elevator, the first. Hold on. Looks like it worked as planned. Let's go see the damage. All done with that. cabinets. It's the high-powered telescope I saw outside. No way I'm using it. I already feel like a peeping Tom just standing next to it. An ancient printing press. It looks like the reporter likes to do things the, back issues of the Gazette. More copies and people to read them. Hey, I found the... No, not her too. Judging by her state, she's been dead for days. That's not possible. I was just talking to this dame hours ago. I don't understand. What am I seeing?
I can do it. I can save him.
Mom?
What you're doing is wrong. You have to stop.
Dad?
I've already lost one son. I'm not gonna lose another.
They are gone. We have to let them go. Let them rest. We will see them again.
You know I don't believe that. Besides, he's not gone. He's right here. Look at him.
I am looking, and that's the problem. You've created a monster. This is not my son. How's he supposed to live the rest of his life this way?
I'm working on that now. That's why I asked you to come here. I'm creating a suit.
A suit?
Yes. We will tell him that he must never take it off. If he does, then he'll die from the injuries in the train crash.
You want me to lie to him for the rest of our lives?
He'll never have to know. He can be happy. We can be a family. Please tell me you'll do this.
What you're doing is wrong.
Please. I mean, it's already done.
Fine, but you're still wrong. We won't be a family after this. It'll never be the same. He will never be the same.
But I won't lose him.
Hello, Ed.
What's happening? What did I just see? What are my parents talking about? You're dead. How are you here?
I'm sorry I couldn't tell you before. But I think you're ready now.
Ready for what?
I think you already know. Just remove your helmet and you will see.
I can't remove my helmet. I'll die.
Please trust me, Edward. I promise you'll be fine. See, there is no one else quite like you.
What? No one else is a monstrous freak?
No, Ed. You're not like anyone else because you're... It's hard to explain. You're half dead and half alive. That's how you're able to speak to me now, and how you've seen the things you've seen.
I don't understand.
Did you see the bodies? The bodies in the sea cave? Did you see their spirits reaching out to you?
Yeah, I guess they're trying to upgrade me to full dead.
They weren't trying to harm you. Their voices have been drowned under the water for so long. They need your help, Edward. That's why you're special. You can hear the voices of the forgotten and still do something about it.
What can I do? I'm just a repairman.
Mechanical engineer. And you know what you need to do.
You're right. It's time to finish this. I tracked down the keychain killer to the atmosphere building. This was
Edward, dear boy.
well, I guess there's no hiding from him.
Do you like what I've done with the place? Cozy, isn't it? Atmosphere. Building filth and lies.
It's some sort of bioorganic material. It's very viscous and sticky. It's some sort of like the proverbial cheese, this thing. A creepy old robot with a globe locked to its head. Normal day.
Oh, she would never shut her mouth, so I shut it for her.
Fire extinguisher fills about half. The doors are jammed shut. Gonna need something to pry them open. The door looks to be electronically locked. There was enough juice left in the... A creepy old... The glove she was wearing could be useful, but the lock and the extinguisher have had it. Hey, since you're awake now, would you mind opening that access door for me? Is that a yes? Yeah, that's probably. Wow, that's toxinite. That stuff is highly acidic. I don't want to go in. Wow, it seems there's a... Looks like someone... It seems the tox... Well, I guess that explains why the door was jammed. Not much left other than some shards of glass.
Oh no, I may have broken the elevator. What are you going to do now?
I think you've gone bad. A big, sticky... It's some sort of... Huh. I guess Disco isn't dead.
Welcome to the end, dear boy.
He's trying to destabilize the reactor and destroy the whole station. Maybe if I can vent the red reactor coils, I can stop this.
Do you really think you can stop me? They ruined my works, so I... I'm creating this place. It's mine to destroy. boy. Did you really think you could puzzle your way out of this one?
He's toying with me. This isn't going to work. I'll have to face him. He's using that device to destabilize the reactor. The keychain killer himself.
You weren't able to see 52 in its greatest glory. My dream embodied. But at least you can see its end. A grand finale for a grand vision.
Why are you doing this? All the people.
Well, they took the best years of my life to build this place. Then they handed me the keys to the city. Then they ruined everything I created with their filth and narrow minds.
The quakes. You were preparing the station for this moment.
You're a smart boy. Too smart, like Oakley was. I killed him, and now I will kill you. Only one key left, but sorry. Saving that one for myself. Goodbye, Edward Locke.
Every man must confront his past. You can't run from it or hide. The best you can do is face it and try not to flinch. Well, he flinched.